On the morning of April 22, 2026, police in Lake Havasu, Arizona, responded to a devastating call. They discovered 67-year-old reality television star Darrell Sheets dead in his home from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. For over a decade, millions of viewers knew him simply as the Gambler on A&E's hit series Storage Wars. He built a 30-year career on his ability to calculate risks and come out on top. The premise of the show required buyers to bid on abandoned storage lockers entirely blind, equipped with only 5 minutes to peer from the doorway. Darrell thrived in this environment, bringing a boisterous energy and his signature catchphrase whenever he spotted potential. This is the wow factor. This visualization maps out the defining triumph of his television tenure. In the show's third season, Darrell invested $3,600 into a single locker. That initial bar explodes into a $300,000 return when he uncovered an original Frank Gutierrez art collection inside. Beyond the profits, the auctions were a deeply personal enterprise. Darrell navigated the high-stakes bidding circuit closely alongside his son, Brandon, turning a gritty profession into a family bond. On television, Darrell projected the aura of a man entirely in command of his environment. He chose his gambles, calculated his odds, and controlled the narrative. But off-camera, he was moving toward a very different kind of threat, one he couldn't outbid, outsmart, or walk away from. The shift away from that tightly controlled television environment began with his own body. In early 2019, a sudden and severe health crisis forced Darrell to step back from the intense spotlight of reality TV. This medical infographic breaks down the severity of what he was facing. Following a mild heart attack, doctors diagnosed him with congestive heart failure. The gauge here drops rapidly to 40%, the dangerously low capacity at which his heart was forced to operate. Choosing survival over the stress of the auction world, Darrell retired to the quiet desert community of Lake Havasu. He sought peace, trading the frenetic energy of Southern California for a slower pace of life. To maintain a connection to his lifelong passion for unearthing hidden value, he opened a local antique store called Show Me Your Junk. It was a way to keep his hands in the business without the high-stakes pressure. Relocating to the desert successfully protected his failing heart, but that physical retreat also isolated him from his usual support networks, leaving his new sanctuary completely exposed to an invisible, unregulated digital attack. In the spring of 2026, Darrell became the target of a localized cyberbullying campaign. Unlike the physical challenges he had faced in the past, this threat completely bypassed the walls of his home and his business. An online stalker acted as a central hub, creating fake local profiles matching Darrell's identity. The impersonator exploited his reputation as a handyman to solicit work, funneling funds from defrauded community members and routing all the anger directly back to Darrell. The digital extortion quickly bled into the physical world. Angry locals, believing Darrell stole their money, showed up at his antique store, threatening physical violence. Darrell found himself profoundly helpless. He contacted local law enforcement, only to discover their hands were tied. In his final posts, he specifically blamed social media platforms for allowing impersonation accounts to remain active even after police were notified. This is the specific danger of localized cyber extortion. It weaponizes a celebrity's own reputation against them, turning a safe, quiet community into a threat landscape they cannot escape. By March of 2026, Darrell was out of options. In a series of desperate Facebook posts, he explicitly named the individuals stalking him, pleading with the public to recognize the imposters. He issued a direct warning to friends and family, stating clearly that if anything happened to him, those specific, named individuals were responsible. A month later, on the morning of April 22nd, Lake Havasu police discovered his body. The man who had spent his life successfully playing the odds had succumbed to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The Lake Havasu Police Department is currently running an active investigation into his death, and they have officially incorporated his public accusations of cyberbullying and extortion into their inquiry. Darrell Sheets' death dismantles the illusion of the untouchable reality TV star. It reveals how extreme, localized cyberstalking can dismantle a life from the inside, creating a fatal outcome for a man who had spent decades preparing for every other kind of risk.